Hey, hey, Blue Table fans! Alright, so I'm doing a bunch of videos tonight. I'm really excited. Couldn't be better. I went outside, and just before this, I did like a 15-minute video just for a small focus group. So I gotta wet my whistle. Oh, that feels amazing. Okay, so I went outside and I looked up and I did a double take. Hey, what are those brown leaves doing in the tree? Yeah, autumn is coming. Yeah, the leaves are turning brown and the sky is gray. Ah, that's great. Used to be my favorite season, autumn. Now it's spring. Spring in Utah is just incomparable. And here's why, because Salt Lake especially, and Utah in general, is a cultivated area. Like, this is desert. The pioneers got here and this was scrub. And you know, and so everything's planted. Everything's like cultured. So spring in Utah really is great. So anyway, hey there, I haven't done any bat reps. Ugh. I'm still, I don't know, doesn't seem like the right timing yet to dive headfirst into that, but we shall see. I have 40K armies. I have Age of Sigmar armies. Valhalla is coming up. Valhalla! And it's my intention to roll out a beta, a nice quiet beta of my ultimate D&D. So I'm making some terrain. I've got great ideas about terrain. A little preview. So I'm going to run like a short adventure. There's going to be 5 or 6 scenes in it, like encounter areas. And for 4 of them, 3 or 4 of them, I already have the terrain. And then I'm making 2 new ones to a much higher standard. And I've got ideas that's like, pow! I'm inspired like never before. And what's exciting me nowadays really is Pathfinder, which is the true Dungeons and Dragons. The heir apparent of Dungeons, the real heir, the king of Dungeons and Dragons. Before I get into that, because this is my general comments thing, I've been, by the way, you Brits, thanks for all the comedy shows. They're really top shelf. So I've been watching, Allo Allo, which is an older one. I've been watching Toast of London on Netflix. So by the way, with Toast of London, which I think is hilarious, like, so good. It's not safe for work. Probably not safe for family of any kind. Even a spouse. I would watch it first and just make sure your spouse was and don't watch a few, watch like 6. And then you'll know kind of what you could potentially be in for. But I love that show. I love British comedies. It's really giving me a lot of joy in life nowadays. So, Valhalla's coming up. I'm probably my plan right now is just to do D&D stuff and not do any regular wargaming. And I'm not knocking it. 8th edition is great. I had a painter come out. In fact, one of my older painters from years back. And he's doing 8th edition, just sort of getting his feet wet. And I wish I could have got him on camera. A lot of these great conversations happen and then it was, I'm not rolling. But he talked a lot about, you know, that he runs into like super competitive gamers, but he's more of a casual gamer, and you know that he's having a hard time getting back into 40K because of how it's done now. Like, it used to be you would pick your army, you would buy your book, and that's all you needed to know was your book. And that book would not be meddled with for like 2 years, which is a downside, because it means if there was a problem with your book or it was underpowered or whatever, you literally had like years to wait. And now with allies and stuff, it takes care of a lot of that, but it also makes it harder to actually get into it. And I agree with that. And I'm having, with 40K, I love 40K, and I've made maybe 8 Eldar armies through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 editions. So everyone except Rogue Trader, and 8th, haven't done an 8th edition Eldar army. And I'm like, the models are coming out with, they're great. Primaris Marines, like I'm in love with them, you know. But I had a bit of a psychotic break when I was looking at my Forge World books. 80 bucks a pop, huge stack of, because I was trying to collect them all, right? And I'm like, these are garbage. I have $800 of garbage right here that just, I've been carrying around, you know, for the promised land of my, you know, of the next studio. And by the way, everything's coming together. Because Permanent Valhalla, oh, that's like I can just, it's like that apple is so close, man. It's incredible. Like really some amazing, miraculous things are happening. It's really great. But I will keep that to myself for now. Yeah, and then I started adding it up, and I'm like, oh, if you want to keep up with every book for Age of Sigmar and 40K, which I kind of need to because of Blue Table Painting, like people say, hey, what army should I get? What should I have in my army? Can you paint it like page 46? I got to have those books. And I'm like, it's between $2,000 and $4,000 a year now to like get the books. It's a lot. I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it, guys. Can't, and to know they're just going to turn into garbage like 2 years from now or 4 years from now. And I'm looking at the 7th edition books that came out and they were new, and they weren't even around that long. Like the armies that came out at the end, then it was like, but up now 8th edition. And I'm just like, but then I was like, I was looking at the Pathfinder stuff that I'm picking up. Oh, we're going to talk about that, by the way. Sorry, I've got to. Oh my gosh. An artist is asking about color schemes. Okay. So I've been picking up a lot of Pathfinder books, and I'm just like, oh, Sean, but you're a hypocrite because you're spending money on these Pathfinder books. Why, what's the problem? Why would you have a problem with the 40K and stuff? And by the way, War Machine, I'm looking at you too. You do it too. It's not as bad, but they also garbaged their giant wad of, like I had maybe 40 War Machine Hordes books, and they're I don't even know what to do with them. I couldn't even give them away. So, still got a lot. If you're local and it's like you want to pick up some of these defunct books for me, guy, let's go through them. Because I just want to unload them. Wow, my face is like red. Does it show up that red in the thing? I don't know. There you go. So anyway, but then I was like, aha, no. You know why? Because those Pathfinder books don't go out of style. They're still good. D&D modules from the early 80s, from the 70s, are still good. And here's why. Because you open it up, and it says the party encounters 2 mind flayers. And guess what? Pathfinder, Paizo, Bestiary has mind flayer stats in it. Ba-da! And Pathfinder, in fact, here, I'm just going to grab one. Do I have one here? I don't. I don't have a core rulebook handy. That's weird. I've like loaded up like 6 or 8 of them now. It's 10 years. 10 years, same rules, maybe 3 or 4 pages of errata for the whole thing. And I'm just like, guys, that's a good product. Because they play tested it with like thousands of people. And they got this rule system that was like, ba-bow. It's awesome. And Pathfinder is, it's a game where it's like they daren't mess with it now. Because that's where Wizards went off the rails. They decided, oh, we'll just redo it. We'll just make it young and fresh and hip. Yeah, you're going to blow it, guys. And Paizo just swooped in and made the real awesome thing that kind of kept the nostalgia of it, but smoothed out all the kinks. And it's tough to do Pathfinder, too, because they, there's a lot of stuff for it. But it's not as bad. So I'm going to talk about Pathfinder for a while. Sorry, Wargamer guys. Don't worry, it's coming. I have not forgot you. And I'm still painting. Like, I'm looking over here at 3 Lords of Tzeentch, 3 Titans. In fact, let's look at this Titan. I got 3 Titans cracking, like this one. So this guy wanted a Blood Angels. He has a Blood Angels art. Was it? No, it's Black Templars. Okay. So I don't know. For whatever reason, he wanted them all to be like reddish color. Look at that base. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a Trenchworks thing. So yeah, these 3 guys on the table, they look amazing. They're all magnetized. I think one of the Titans that you can buy has like all the options in it, something like that. So it's a lot to keep up with. It's a lot of mental energy, and I've added the Pathfinder universe to that, and they put out a lot. So Pathfinder, again, that's D&D. They've got 120 Adventure Path modules in bundles of 6. Each one of those is called an Adventure Path. Takes you from 1st level to 18th level. And then they have regular modules. There's about 70 of those. Then there's Player's Companions. Those are about, and that's just like game background, pretty much. And those are, they're 32 pages. It's just like a leaflet type of thing. But let me show you one. Like really, really, really good quality. I've got several of them. So here, People of the North. There you go. And by the way, I'm doing a cracking business in RPG figures. So look at that. Telling you all about them. Isn't that neat? Just amazing. Just great. So this is 32 pages. I think these sell for like $12 or $14. And they the Player's Companions they're really cool. And the Adventure Paths have a map pack, cards like just for the art, and what else? They have a Player's Companion that kind of gets you primed for it, to like information for the players, how to make their characters, what the background is, you know, the lands and people, and I think those are free PDFs too, the Player Companions. So if you start an Adventure Path, awesome. In fact, I'm going to show you one of those too. I have a bunch of them. Here's one of my favorites. It's called Serpent Skull. So this is what it looks like. And each one of these is 64. Is it 64 pages? Hold on. I think it's 100 and some odd. Nope, I was wrong. 92 pages, something like that. So that's what it looks like, and it has a number. They're up to 120 now, which is 20 paths. Yeah, that's right, 20 paths times 6. Yep. And just the maps, I've already gone over these with you, so that's what that is. Then they've got the actual modules, which look just like that thing, from shore to sea. It's an adventure, and it says module at the bottom there. And gives you some pre-done characters. And this is great. What a value. So, like in terms of $1981 versus dollars today, you could buy 2 modules like this. And by the way, The Treasure of Chimera Cove, great module. Oh my gosh, it's so clever. Like, you really need to read it to kind of understand how all these mechanisms work. It's just really good. And it's good stuff. Oh yeah, amazing. Okay, so anyway, so those are the modules. And then they've got campaign setting stuff. Hold on, I'm trying to find something here. Where's it? Oh yeah, there you go. So what they put out these revisited things. So Dragons Revisited, and this is like the old Elminster's ecologies. And this is some of the best buys. Like, I would get it just for the read. And they're just fantastic. Hold on, I'm looking for, oh yeah, I had this one. It was Dungeon Denizens Revisited. That one's really cool because it's got like, you know, Roper and, oh wow, I dropped that one on the floor. It's got a little bit of a bent edge. What is it? Purple Worm. It's basically like Ecology of the Purple Worm. And, oh, just great. And at the end of each section, it gives you like a variant of that monster. Just like the value is incredible. The replay value is there. So, and what's interesting is Paizo made Pathfinder more into like a war game or a strategy game or a board game. You know, they publish maps. Oh, in fact, let me show you one of those. You can buy, and they have a ton of these, and they're dry erase maps, basically. You know, and this folds out into, I don't want to fold it out because I'm taking my players through this, you know. But and then they have pawns, which are like little cardboard things, like instead of miniatures. Because let me tell you, to completely miniature and terrain out a module is, it's incredible. I mean, it's a huge undertaking. Like, you could buy a car or do that. So the product is just through. So in a way, the war game, the product is just through the roof. Finish your sentence, Sean. By the way, I look at these videos and I'm just like, oh, you just trailed off there. You went down a path, you never came back. And that Pathfinder is the war game that I'm into. I'm doing miniatures for it. I have a group. I play it every Friday night. So yeah, I have a group, 5 or 6 people in it. Amazing, great group. We meet a second time every week for combat training. Combat training is basically like learn the rules to it, like learn how to do it, and it just makes things go smoother. It's like people know what they're doing. They know what a web spell does. They know, you know, how to use acrobatics to get past opponents, stuff like that. It's really brilliant. So that's what I'm doing nowadays, and I'm hoping these might inspire some of you for Pathfinder and to get some models done too. I've got a lot of people coming to me to get their D&D figures done, and sometimes huge collections, like hundreds of figures to be just painted up, and we've got the manpower to do it. I gotta tell you, my crew is better than ever. It's amazing. Am I gonna do a video after this? No, I kind of turned this into the Pathfinder thing too. Oh no, I was gonna do a show and tell. Well, let's just go ahead and get that out of the way now too. All right, let me put these away. The Monsters Revisited, great supplements. So it's a maze. Like, Pathfinder has like so many products. That is not the one I wanted. Here it comes. And you know, I use a lot of GW figs for this as well. And Malifaux is a good source too. So here's a Dark Age figure we've actually had for a while. I'm going to replace this. So for Ultimate D&D, I want to use unusual figures. So by the way, let me just get a regular sized guy and compare it to that guy. Okay, I don't have a regular sized guy in that bin. Let's get the other bin. Hold on, almost there. Okay. So here's a regular sized figure. There's a side by side. So this guy's awesome. He's like a hill giant or something like that. So I'm going to actually get a different blade on him so it's not so mechanical, you know. And I painted this thing up. I got this in a trade, and I turned this into a green dragon. And you can't really see it in this light, but boy, I did a great job on it. I converted him up with some horns here. The Pathfinder-esque green dragon has like a bladed horn, so that's my answer to that. Put some horns on his back. So my objective is to make each one unique. I'd like my players to show up and for Ultimate D&D and just go, whoa, wow, what range is that from? That model looks so cool. It's like, oh yeah, I got it. It's this obscure thing, and I did these modifications to it. Make each one really, really special. Let's see what else. I don't know. You can hear my baby in the background. A Dracolisk, and this bad girl is Reaper Bones, which is super cheap. The sculpts are pretty good. They're very original, but they're flexible. Like they bend. They're kind of rubbery, which I don't like. You got to prime them by hand. You cannot spray primer on these. They have some chemical reaction to it. So, but I've really enjoyed painting them, and I rebase them on proper bases for the scale of the game, because a medium creature is an inch by an inch square. A large creature is 2 inches by 2 inches, so I made the bases like fit. And I'm doing all round bases, because when push comes to shove, the rounded edges give it a little bit of play when the battlefield becomes crowded, and they are generally better. And I really like how they look. They're very organic. So I wish you could see this better. I put a lot of time into it, and I'm really excited. I've got a lot of good stuff cooking for it. And you know, it's not too early. Like if you have a group and you want to put some feelers out with me, like, hey Sean, and you know, later this year or 2018, we'd like to come out, and that's how it's going to work. I'll book individuals, but I'm going to book mostly just groups for Ultimate D&D to come out. It'll look like the Valhallas we had early on in Sundance, and let me tell you, it's going to be really inspirational to the imagination. And I have so many ideas for it on every single level. I'm really stoked. So anyway, well, that's my update, and I'm here. I'm taking commissions. I'm answering my emails. It's almost like, you know, I want to do a video, and I'm just like, everyone's seen that before. They've seen people. They've seen the armies come through, but I know I'm like must be wrong thinking about that. But yeah, over here I've got like 130 Descent figures all done up. A giant Tzeentch army. The Titans, Black Templars, a Tyranid army. I mean, it's all over, and we're getting them through. All right, thanks for tuning in. I hope you got your inspiration for the day. I appreciate all of the great feedback and the wonderful things people have done for me over the years.